Hey guys, it's Brooke here from Cup Eye Cooking, and today we're diving into part 2 of our conversation on carbs, complex carbs. Although our body uses both simple and complex carbs for the same tasks and functions, complex carbs provide different nutrients and benefits than simple carbs do. Today's video will cover all you need to know about complex carbs, their basic chemical structure, how your body processes them, why they're important for your health, and food sources that contain complex carbs. Let's get started. Carbohydrates can be categorized into 3 groups: fiber, starch, and sugar. Fiber and starch are complex carbs, where sugar is a simple carb. Today's video is going to focus on the complex carbs. Starch is what we call a polysaccharide, which is just a long chain of sugar molecules. In order for your body to effectively use these polysaccharides, it must break them down into single sugar molecules first. They can then be absorbed in the bloodstream for energy. Examples of starches include breads, pastas, grains, and potatoes. But I'm sure you already knew that. These are the typical foods that most people refer to when they talk about watching their carb intake. Fiber is also a polysaccharide, but it can't be digested by your gut. We'll be making an entire video on fiber later, but for today's purposes, just remember that fiber is a complex carb that helps you feel fuller longer. So incorporating food sources that contain both starch and fiber will help you manage your weight and control your blood sugar levels. Now that we know complex carbs' basic chemical structure, let's learn how our body processes them. When carbohydrates are present in single sugar molecules we call monosaccharides, they're released into your bloodstream. Insulin, a hormone that regulates your blood glucose levels, will then transfer those sugar molecules into your cells to be used for energy. Because complex carbs are built of many single sugar molecules put together, they need to be broken down into those single elements first. Enzymes in your small intestine are in charge of doing this. Once complex carbs are digested, they can then enter into the bloodstream and be transported by the insulin. This longer process is what helps you stay full in between meals and have more energy over a longer period of time. So, why are complex carbs important for your health? I can totally imagine what must be going through your head right now. Brooke, I thought breads, rices, pastas, and starches were bad and I should stay away from them. That's what everyone else is telling me to do. Not so, my friend. Just like everything else in nutrition, moderation is the key, and each food group plays a significant role in our overall health. Complex carbs, and carbs in general, have many important jobs in maintaining our health. 1. They are our main source of energy. Our body relies on carbs to function as a whole. Complex carbs, like we just learned, take longer to digest, so we can use their energy in our body longer. 2. Carbs are critical for our brain function. Our brain requires 20% of our total energy intake, which is more than any other major organ in your body. Carbs are the easiest way to give our brain the quick energy it needs to sustain itself throughout the day. 3. They help decrease our risk of disease. Because complex carbs contain fiber, your body can better manage your cholesterol levels and your blood glucose levels. Lower cholesterol decreases your risk of heart disease, while lower blood glucose levels decrease your risk of type 2 diabetes. 4. They help with your weight control. Feeling satiated between meals due to complex carbohydrates means you are less likely to snack between meals, binge eat at mealtime, or just overeat in general. And who doesn't want that, right? And lastly, number 5, they're important for our digestive health. Complex carbs that contain good sources of fiber help your stool pass through your body easier, which means you're more effective at getting rid of waste and you experience less bloating. And I know that I could always go for less bloating. As you can see, contrary to popular belief, there are many important benefits that come from having complex carbs in our diet. The key is knowing which food sources give us the right amount and the right kind of complex carbs. So let's dive into that. Now for my favorite part, how we get to eat carbs. Breads, rices, and pastas are the most well-known sources of carbs, but not all carbs are created equal. Here are some of my favorite sources of complex carbs that are more nutritious. Number 1, top of the list, rolled oats. I can't even begin to tell you guys how awesome rolled oats are for your diet. And I'm not talking about the instant oats or the pre-sweetened kind that come in those little packets at the store. I'm talking about just the regular, old-fashioned rolled oats. These are a good source of fiber, and they also have prenatal and postnatal benefits as well. So if you're an expecting mama or a new mama, these are especially important in your diet. Number 2, whole wheat and multigrain breads. If you're going to eat bread, it's recommended that you choose whole wheat. Whole wheat and multigrain breads retain the entire wheat kernel and all the vitamins and proteins inside, as well as the fiber. Much, much better for you than just what's left over after they strip all the vitamins and minerals away. So, whole wheat is the way to go. Now that takes us to the next food, brown rice. Just like whole wheat bread, brown rice contains all the parts of the grain, including the natural sources of fiber, protein, vitamins, and complex carbs. Now, I'm not saying you have to choose brown rice for every meal, because I love curry, and brown rice just doesn't quite go with curry. But more often than not, if you can choose brown rice over white rice, that's a good way to start. Corn. Corn's an interesting one. It's a vegetable, but it's mainly a starch instead of sugar, and it's considered a whole grain. It's also a good source of fiber. When you're looking for sources of corn, choose whole kernel corn or corn on the cob. And if you're buying canned corn, make sure there's no salt added. And if you're trying to choose popcorn, try and shoot for the air-popped popcorn rather than the instant popcorn that's covered in butter and extra salt. Those whole sources of corn are much better for you and contain more nutrients that you need. Peas, just like corn, are also a starchy vegetable with a good source of fiber, and they also contain good sources of vitamin A and vitamin K. So if you're looking to get complex carbs in your diet through vegetables, corn and peas are a great way to start. And lastly, black beans, or really any legumes for that matter. Beans are starchy and fibrous, and they're a great way to add plant-based protein into your diet and get those complex carbs. Some of my favorites are black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, and garbanzo beans, which you might know as chickpeas. Lentils are also in this category, and they give those same benefits as well. So just in review, some of the foods that we've talked about are rolled oats, whole wheat and multigrain bread, brown rice, corn, peas, and beans and legumes. Out of all of these foods, which ones are your favorites? Which ones are you going to try and incorporate more of in your diet this next week? Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you learned a lot about complex carbs today. If you're interested in learning about simple carbs, make sure to check out the other video that's already posted on my YouTube channel. And like and subscribe to my channel to see more nutrition videos in the future. I'll be releasing one of these every single week covering a different topic that will help you make better food choices for your health. If you're looking for awesome, wholesome, and nutritious recipes to apply the principles that you learn in these videos, be sure to check out my website, kawpiecooking.com/blog. I'll make sure to link that below. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest updates with my account and how you can incorporate nutrition better into your life. Thanks so much for watching. Ka pai.